Hello, everybody. My name is Anita, and welcome to another live session with Nexi. I have my colleague here. Let's just hold on for people to join in.
Yes.
Has anybody joined? Okay, welcome.
Mary K. Welcome, Mary K. Welcome, everybody.
Welcome.
Ade, Halima, welcome.
Welcome, everybody. So while we're holding on for more people to join, welcome, guys. All right, welcome. Welcome, everybody. Okay, let's get started. So my name is Anita, and I'm a visa officer at Nexi Concept Limited. And today is a very special one because we'll be telling you about basic steps to take after you have your offer. For those of us joining us now, my name is Anita, and I'm a visa advisor here at Nexi. I have my colleague with me.
Yeah, I'm Elizabeth, and I'm a student recruitment advisor here at Nexi Concept Limited.
Yes, so we'll be taking you on basic steps to take once you have your offer, what to do to obtain your CAS, what to do to get a successful visa, and all of that. So stay tuned. It's going to be a very wonderful session. And at the end of this session, we have a surprise for you guys. So please stay tuned. Stay till the end of the session.
Stay till the end, so
Stay
you
till
don't miss
the
out
end,
on
please,
that.
so you don't miss out. Yes, thank you. Welcome, everybody. Welcome, everyone that is new. So yeah, let's get started. Elizabeth, so when a student has an offer from a school in the UK, what are the basic steps that these students can take to obtain their CAS?
All right, so having an offer can be in two phases. It is either you have a conditional offer or an unconditional offer. So if it is a conditional offer, that means you still need more, like there is more to be done. But if it is an unconditional offer, that means you are closer to the visa stage, just closer, not that you are there. So if it is a conditional offer, that means you need to meet some condition. And most of these conditions, I will just cite examples of what conditions of offers could be. It can be for you to write a satisfactory personal statement. Maybe the one you submitted before was not really saying some things, pointing out some things such as why you chose UK, why you chose their school. Maybe you didn't talk about course modules. They didn't really see that you made research. So they will tell you we need a more satisfactory personal statement. Another thing that you can have on your conditional offer is they can tell you to submit your WAHEC or NECO scratch card. That is another condition people normally get. And some students, they have discrepancy in their name, date of birth, then they tell them bring affidavits or get this, get that. So condition can be anything. It just depends on the documents you submitted before you submit the application. That determines the kind of offer you are going to get. And then for just a few schools, you get conditional offer, and one of their conditions would be for you to make payments. So in a case whereby one of the conditions is not for you to make payments, ensure you meet all those conditions and get an unconditional offer before you proceed to make payments. So for unconditional offer, that means you have satisfied every condition and now you are good to go. So if you have an unconditional offer, the first thing you do will be for you to make your tuition deposit. The tuition deposit can be any amount. It will be stated on the offer letter. It can be, okay, pay £3,000, pay 50% of your tuition, pay this, pay that. So after you pay the tuition deposit, and let me also say this, some schools will not tell you to pay tuition deposit first. As part of the condition, they might tell you you have to pay maybe £500 for you to do an interview. So that is part of their own condition. Like I said, you need to meet all these conditions before you now go ahead to say, I want to pay the whole tuition deposit requested by me. So after you've paid the tuition deposit, what next? I said pre-CAS interview or credibility interview. This interview, they ask you different questions about yourself in this interview. They ask about your finances, who is sponsoring you. They ask about the school. We've had this session before here on our live session. You can just go through our page to get it because I will not be talking about that here. So they ask about your school, your course. They ask a lot of questions. And sometimes they even ask questions that you are not expecting. They can ask you anything. They can ask you a question like, oh, so if you are going to the desert, what would you take along? And student will be like, oh my God, you know you've prepared, obviously. But you never thought they would be asking you a question like, if you are going to the desert, what are you going to take along? So you just have to prepare, be confident, and just know that whatever they ask, I would know. Because asking questions such as, if you are going to the desert, what are you going to take along? They just want to know how smart you are. Do you understand? And questions like that pops up sometimes. They ask about the place the school is located, where the campus is located. If it is London, they ask, oh, why London? What can you say about London? They can even ask you, what can you say about the climatic condition in London? So they can ask you anything. That is for the pre-CAS interview. So now, if your school is not saying you should pay deposit before pre-CAS interview, I would advise you to get the results. Know if you have passed the pre-CAS interview. Get a successful response from the school before you go ahead to make payments. Please, it is good when you get when you know if you have passed the interview before you make your payment, because if you don't pass those pre-CAS interview, sometimes you don't have anywhere to go. Though some school will tell you to receipt, but in case they are not telling a student to receipt, that means it is gone. Then you have to ask for refund, and to get refund is not always easy. So it is better, I would just advise that make sure you prepare very well before the interview. Have mock sections with professionals. We have mock section for interview with our students. So you can just send message to us, oh, I'm at this stage at the moment. Please, can you prepare me for interview? And I can bet you, I don't know if we have some of our students here, they can attest to that. When we prepare students for interview, even if the student did not have any knowledge initially, with our mock sessions, the student is good to go. I can assure you that. So please, you can contact us so that we can help you with your pre-CAS interview preparation, the mock session interview. So after the interview is done and you have successfully passed the interview, you've paid your tuition deposit, the next thing is for you to start running your proof of fund. That is very important. So you would notice I didn't tell you to start running proof of fund when you've not passed pre-CAS interview. I didn't tell you to start it when you've not made your payments, because you don't know what the future holds. What if you don't pass the pre-CAS interview? That means the proof of fund you are running,
is invalid.
So you don't just start running it. So once you are sure, start running the proof of fund. And how do you go about running this proof of fund? So to run your proof of fund, the living cost in whatever city you are going, there's a particular living cost for London, schools in London. There's another living cost for schools outside London. So for schools in London, the living cost is £12,006. For schools outside London, the living cost is £9,207. However, there will be changes for students that are resuming, that their resumption date is after January 2nd. So Anita might talk more on that when she starts talking. So there might be changes, and the changes is just that from 9,207, outside London living cost will change to 10,224, and London itself, inside London, will change to £13,347. So if you know your own resumption date is January 20th, please don't say because what I've noticed now, what is ongoing now, because we have students for January too, the school sent them the living cost and tell them it's 9,207, and the student come back, hi Elizabeth, this is 9,207, let's not use 10,224. I'll be like, your resumption date is January 20th. This thing will take effect after January 2nd. Please don't follow that. Do you understand? So it is good when you work with professional, when you work with expert, they tell you the right thing to do so that you don't make mistakes. So that is why we are here. So after you've known the proof of the living cost you want to use, the balance of your tuition, let's say your tuition is 15,000, the balance of the tuition, you've paid 3,000 deposits, you have 12,000 left. 12,000 plus, I'll be using the new living cost now because I assume that your resumption date is January 10th. Okay, so plus 10,224. So you go to Oanda rate, check Oanda rate for that day. Please add at least 200 to Oanda rates. Don't use what you have on Oanda rates that day. Remember, you are staying for 28 days, so you can't use what you have on Oanda rates. Add more to it. When you add more to the Oanda rates, then use that. Add at least 200. You can add 300. So that means in the next 28 days, even if there is changes, there is always fluctuation. Yes. And by the time they want to check it, the school wants to check it, or maybe UKVI, they are checking the date you submit, which means they are not checking the date you started cancelling. So please always add to it. And if you need advice on how to go about the proof of fund, because there are other things you need to do while running this your proof of fund, we are going to tell you more about that. You know, we have limited time and we have to just make everything short. Do you understand? So you can just reach out so that we can tell you other things you have to do for your proof of fund to be acceptable, for you to get CAS, and for you to even get visa. Okay? So that being said, after you have started running your proof of fund, and the next thing will be for you to start your to go for your tuberculosis test. So some schools, we have different schools. Some schools will not tell you to submit TB test, but just a few, after your payments, your deposits, they just issue CAS after a few days. But not all schools, please. Not all schools. Just a few schools. I can say 20% out of 100, you know, in UK. So if your school is part of the remaining 80%, please, you are going for TB test. You are submitting you are submitting bank statement. Then there are some schools too, because you submit through agents, like if you submit through Nexi now, some schools will not even ask you for anything. But if you submit yourself, they are going to ask. But in this case now, we are talking to people with offer, so maybe they are asking from you. So please, you have to get it right. Don't send them just anyhow POF. Therefore, TB test, you need to have the idea. We have centers in Nigeria. We have centers in Lagos, Abuja, and Benin. For Abuja, we only have IOM center. For Benin, same thing. But for Lagos, we have quite a number of centers. For IOM, we have like 2 centers in Lagos. We have Q Life and we have St. Nicholas. So it depends on the one you want. Their prices varies. They don't have the same price. So I can tell you more about the prices later on. But let me just give you the range. The prices ranges from 90,000 naira to around 156,000 naira. So depending on the one you want to go for, you will know if you are going for Q Life. That is for people in Lagos. So people outside Lagos, you are not opportune to choose. Yours will definitely be over 150,000 because the price is 95 USD. So 95 USD is around 156,000 or more, or around that amount. Do you get? So, but if you are in Lagos, you might be lucky. It ranges from 90,000 to that 156,000 plus admission. So that is for the TB test. And another thing I have not added, that is for the TB test, and that is for schools that do not require you to fill CAS shield. So everything I've mentioned now, schools that require you to fill CAS shield, they want all these things I've mentioned to be done on CAS shield. That means you are not sending the TB test to them via email. Okay. You are not sending the bank statement to them via email. You are not uploading it on any portal. You are using the CAS shield. CAS shield is like a portal as well. And quite a number of schools uses CAS shield. So on CAS shield, what is expected? We have like 5 sections on CAS shield. The first section is just for you to fill your general information, your basic information, your name, your gender, if you have changed your name before, just basic information about yourself. The second section has to do with general documents. Majority of the documents you submitted for application, your transcript, your CV, WAHEC, they want you to submit it again. And the third section is where we have financial documents. That is where you upload your 28 days bank statement. Students make mistake. Those students that work with us, we don't allow them to make mistake. They will never make that mistake because they've fulfilled all requirements on that CAS sheet, and they are not respecting the financial document. They'll be like, my financial document, when did I even put that money there? It was last week. That's the only thing I have left to submit this CAS sheet, and they would submit it that way. Then the school rejects it, and please don't do it. Wait till it is 28 days. The school wants to see that money was in your account for 28 days. So because they are not working, because I ask my student, that will be like, Elizabeth, are you sure we cannot submit it? Like, it's 15 days. That's the only thing left. Please, no. So please, no, don't do that. Do you get? Don't do that, please. So for the financial document, that is where you are uploading your bank statements, 28 days bank statements. That is where you are uploading your deposit receipt, the telex copy of your deposit payments. That is where you are. That is for some schools, just those two documents for some schools. However, for just a few schools, they want more. They will tell you to upload your employment contracts, to upload your employment letter, employment pay slip. They also fall under financial documents. So if you are with us, we let you know those schools. And if you are not with us, you can always come to us. This is the time. That is what is currently ongoing. And that is why we said you should wait till the end of the session, because we have something to tell you. Do you understand? So we are actually here to help you. So for those schools, that means you have to go to your workplace and get those documents from them. So they are part of the documents you are uploading. So after that, the next section on your CAS sheet is pre-CAS questionnaire. This particular section, you have to be very careful. Please, if you don't have professionals helping you, don't do it yourself. Because once you are done with your pre-CAS questionnaire, the page will be locked. When that page is locked, whether you made a mistake or not, it is gone. And I'm telling you, whatever mistake you make will delay your CAS. Your CAS will be delayed because of your mistake. You'll just be hearing, maybe you are in a group, we have groups around. Let's say it's University of Wolverhampton you are going. You are in a group, everybody is now saying, I submitted my CAS shield last week, I've gotten my CAS today. You just be like, I submitted my own 1 month ago, 2 months ago.
And it's not out.
You get it. There's a mistake already. So please don't just fill the pre-CAS questionnaire yourself. Let someone that knows about it, because there are some things you don't know what to put there. But they will guide you on what to put there, because they know the right from the wrong. They can differentiate. They know. They've been doing it for a while. Do you understand? Also, in uploading documents, once you upload documents, you cannot delete document again. So please don't make mistake. It has happened before. A student of mine, she didn't inform me. I don't know how she did it. She wanted to upload passport. She uploaded like a selfie of herself. Immediately she made a mistake. She just sent a message, Elizabeth, I made a mistake. What happened? I uploaded my selfie. Like, I said, why? How? You didn't name it. What happened? Why didn't you wait for me? So please, documents cannot be deleted. You can't delete your documents. So be careful of. So CAS shield is a very is a stage whereby you need someone to assist you. It would look like you know it. I will not lie to you. CAS shield will look like you know it, because we look like this is just for me to fill this. Upload this. No. Somebody will tell you what to put there, the right thing to put there. Okay. So, and the last thing on CAS shield, not every CAS shield has this, and that is the interview session. I told you some schools are not using CAS shield, and some schools are using CAS shield, but they don't care about the interview. They are not after the interview. So for schools like that, their own CAS shield section, we have just 4 sections. While the schools that have interview, their own we have interview, and it's a pre-recorded section, which means that nobody will be there and face you and be like, do this, do that. No, nobody is facing you. You are facing yourself. So questions pop up. They tell you what to do. They can tell you, please pronounce this word after us. You do. Show us your passports. Can you show us the area you are? Can you do this? So we are, like I said earlier, we are going to prepare you before you do this interview. So if you have not done it, you are still looking at a way to do it, please. Just wait till the end of the session. We have something to tell you, because we are actually going to help you all with this stage you have at the moment. So That is it. Yes, that is it for the post-admission processing. And after you have done that, you have now submitted the CAS shield, or your own is that you've sent it to the school as an email. You've sent all the documents to the school as an email. Then the next stage will now be, let's await your CAS. Once your CAS enters, bam, then you are good to go to the visa stage. Then you will no more be working with me. Like, I'm a student with med advisor, like I said earlier. Then I will move you to my colleague Anita and other visa officers, visa advisors like her. So then she will now be talking to you. Now, I assume we are done with my own stage. You now have the CAS. The school has sent you your CAS. So Anita will talk to you about what to do after you have gotten the CAS. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Elizabeth, for that very detailed explanation of what to do to get your CAS.
Yeah.
And now, so before you can apply for a visa application, it is not news that you would need a CAS to apply for a visa application or make a visa application. Now, so once you're done with Elizabeth, typically you'll be transferred to myself and other qualified and professional visa advisors. So what we'll first do is ask you for that CAS documents. Then we would ask you to provide a list of other documents which I'll be mentioning in this video. Now, once you have your CAS, we'll ask you to provide some other documents. So those documents include, one, your bank statements. Like Elizabeth mentioned earlier, you would have already built your bank statement sometimes to get your CAS, and other times you come and you are clueless and then we'll tell you what to do. So usually what should be in your proof of fund will be your tuition balance and your cost of living. Like she said earlier, for those of us that are just joining, the proof of fund or your cost of living for 1 year for the UK was formerly 9,207 for outside London. Yes, and the other one was, I think, 12,006 for inside London. But now it has been changed from the 2nd of January. Very important for us to note this. From the 2nd of January 2025, if your course is starting after 2nd of January, then you need to use the new cost of living, which is £10,224 for outside London and £13,347 inside London. So you need to calculate this amount, coupled with your tuition balance, and then put it in an account for 28 to 30 days before you can apply for a visa to get to the UK. It's very important. The bank statement needs to either have your name or your sponsor's name. Now, moving on from bank statements, we'll be taking you, deeper on bank statements when we tell you what we have for you at the end of the video. Moving on from bank statements, you have your CAS, which I've mentioned earlier. You also have your passport data page. You cannot go anywhere without your passport, and your passport needs to be valid for at least 6 months before you put in an application. You also need to get all of the documents that you use to obtain an offer that is listed on your CAS. Now, your CAS will typically list your name, the course you're going with, the duration of your CAS validity, your course start date, your course end date, your tuition fee, your tuition deposit, and all certificates used to obtain your offer, the address of the institution, and the address where you will be studying. So those are the basic information that your CAS will have, and you will need some of those information to fill out your visa application form. Now, when you have all of the certificates listed on your CAS, you also need to send it to the visa officer, which would include your degree certificate, your transcripts, if you have your WAEC listed there, or your IELTS results, or your NECO, or any other thing that is listed on your CAS would also be needed for your visa application. Now, some mistakes that people do, or I've seen my students make, is your CAS is listing your degree and transcript obtained from your university, and then you will be bringing something different from what is on your CAS, or you think you can submit something different from what is on your CAS for your visa application. No, it won't work. Some people or students have their IELTS test listed on their CAS, and then they submit their WAEC instead. No, this will not work. Every document as it is listed on your CAS, is very important that you submit those same documents for your visa application. Now, moving on from that, you also need to submit your tuberculosis test certificate, which Elizabeth has explained in details on how to get them from the various centers and all of that. Then you will also need to provide documents to cover study gap. Now, I have a lot of students have issues with it, and I've seen a lot of people come to us with issues like this. Some people don't know what a study gap is. Now, a study gap is the gap between your previous study and your next study. So let's say you finished your BSc in 2019 and you're applying to go for your master's in January 2025. The period between 2019 to 2025 is your study gap. Now, for a UK study visa application, you need to cover this study gap. You need to provide documents to cover this study gap. These documents can include employment letters, reference letters, business registration certificates, your NYSC certificate, and all of that. Now, what are these documents? They are usually just to prove that you have not been idle between this period to that period. I don't know if you are understanding me. So some people would just think that they can just explain and say, oh, okay, I finished school in 2019. Well, I didn't work. I was working in my mommy's shop. I was helping my mom to sell Pepsi. That's on a lighter mood. But you need to be able to show proof of what you have been doing between the last time you went to school and the next time that you're planning on resuming, which is your future studies, which is your intending master's or BSc. This doesn't really apply to those going for BSc courses because there's not much of a study gap in between when you finish your secondary school and university in most cases. Now, moving on from that, if you are married, you also need to show proof of marriage. Now, I also have students make mistakes in this area where they feel because the UK has stopped some students from bringing their dependents to the UK, so they don't declare that they have dependents at all in their visa application. No, please don't do that. So what happens is, even if your course does not permit you to bring dependents to the UK, it is still necessary to declare those dependents on your application form. This helps in situations whereby you have finished your course in the UK and you've been able to switch your visas and you now have permission to remain in the UK. And you are lonely and you want to bring your wife and children, and then you did not declare them on your application form that you are married and you have children. Where did they suddenly come from? Where did they spring out from? You understand? So it makes the application difficult for your family to join you when you're ready to join, or when you're ready for them to join you. Now, it's very important that even if your course does not allow you to bring your dependents, you still declare them on your application form and you still show proof of their relationship to you. Now, these documents can be in form of your marriage certificate. If you are a woman and you've changed your name, your change of name documents, which is newspaper publication and affidavit of change of name, and also family photos. Now, those are the basic documents that you need to apply for a visa. I've also seen situations where students upload their CV for a visa application. This is good. However, if your CV is not properly structured and does not properly cover your study gap, as professionals, we always advise against it. But if you want to know more about that, stay tuned to the end of this session. Now, once you have been able to gather all of these documents together, then you are ready to submit your application. I advise my students not to submit a visa application form until all documents are okay and have been vetted properly by a professional. It is very important that you use a professional advisor when putting in your visa application. I would never overemphasize that. It is very, very important because there are some mistakes that you can avoid simply because you didn't use a professional and then you do it yourself, and you make silly mistakes that either delay your application or result in a visa rejection. It's very important that you use a professional when putting in any type of visa application. But for case study, we're talking about UK study visa application. Very important that you use a professional when putting in any visa application. Now, once you have gone through all of your documents and all of your documents are good to go, then you can now move on to pay for IHS and Visa. Now, some people might ask, what is IHS, what is Visa? For those of us that are new to the system, IHS is your health insurance. It is an insurance that you pay that would cover for the period of your study in the UK. Now, IHS fee for the UK is £1,035, and your visa fee or your study visa fee is £490. So, but UK is very, they're very nice. When you get to the point of paying for IHS and Visa, they would convert it to dollars for us, because in Nigeria and Ghana, we don't really have so much access to pounds, and most people have a dollar card and not a pound card. So if you get to that point and you're seeing your fee in dollar, don't fret. It's just a conversion rate of this amount that I have called for you. The IHS fee is £1,035 and the visa fee is £490. You will typically pay your IHS fee first and then pay your visa fee. And when you are done with both of this, now you can now pick a biometric center and a date and time to submit your biometrics. Now, for the UK, you typically would not attend an interview. All you will do at the biometric center is just to thumbprint. They will do capturing for you, just the way you did for your passport, and then you submit your application and all of that. So after you've paid for your IHS and your visa fee, then you are moved to a VAC website. VAC is Visa Application Centers. These are the centers where you submit your biometrics. Now, when you are transferred to the VAC center, you can now pick a location where you want to submit your biometrics. So presently now, which I'll be diverting a little bit, there has been some changes that I'm sure some people are aware of. But if you're not aware of it, the UK VI has transferred or has stopped using TLS as their VAC for Nigeria and Ghana. Now, the UK VI has transferred all of their documents and everything to VFS Global. VFS is now the official VAC that is handling all UK VI's biometrics collection and all of that. So as at this change took place officially 19th of November, which was yesterday. So if you had already picked a biometric date and all of that before the 19th of November, there were messages flying around for people to try as much as possible to submit that application before, upload all documents and submit it before yesterday. If you are not able to do that, then all of your documents will be transferred to VFS and you will get a mail from them explaining the next steps for you to do. But since 19th of November is yesterday, and now we're in 20th, VFS is now the official VAC for the UK VI, meaning that everybody that wants to submit any type of UK application or visa application will now be directed to VFS's website. So still to the end of this, I have some juicy deals for you and I'll explain more about that. So once you are now ready to pick a biometric center and location, you will now pick among some of the locations that VFS has, whatever is convenient for you. You pick these locations, you would go pick a date, pick a time and all of that. And then you would either click on self-service or assisted service. What is self-service? Self-service means that you would upload all of your documents yourself. Assisted service means that you would pick a date and a time and then walk into the center of your choice and submit your biometrics. Now, I've had a lot of students say, I just want to do walk-in. Officially, there is nothing called walk-in. It's either assisted service that you have paid for. You still need to book a time slot. You cannot just pick your documents and arrive at the VAC and say, so I want to submit my application. No, you still need to pick a date and a time and then submit all of your documents. Take all of your documents with you for submission and biometrics capturing. So when you've done that, you wait the day and time. If you have clicked assisted service, the date and time you've picked, when that day and that time arrives, please try and go early. So people will pick 7 a.m. Lagos traffic. Lagos traffic. Make sure you pick a time that is convenient for you and put all of these things into consideration when picking a date and a time. when you get, try as much as possible to arrive at the center at least 15 minutes early, and try not to be late, because I've had situations where students went late for their biometric appointments and they were not allowed into the center. And they will have to pay another fee to access that, to access an appointment. So to avoid all of these squabbles, please pick a time and a date that is very, very convenient for you. And on the day of your biometric appointment, if you clicked on assisted service, make sure that you have all the mandatory documents and all your supporting documents together in a file. Take it with you, and the officials at the center would assist with arranging your documents and submitting the application for you. Now, some people have a misconception. If you click on assisted service, or you want to go and submit your application there and take your documents with you, they would not look at the documents. They will not vet your documents. It's whatever you bring, they will submit. They are not going to tell you, oh, your bank statement is not looking good, or your study gap documents are not looking okay, or you didn't put so document. Nobody is going to do that, because they don't care. They expect that you have done due diligence before bringing your documents together. So make sure to check all of your documents and make sure that they are complete, and then take it with you along. That's for people that picked assisted service. If you picked self-service, which means you want to upload all of your documents yourself, make sure that all the documents that you need is uploaded, is vetted and uploaded before the time of your interview. It's very important that you do that. And I said earlier that I don't advise anybody to put in a visa application without the help of a professional. You might look at your documents. I've had students say, oh, my friend did this, or my elder brother did this, or I am in a group where so person did this, and it worked for them. You are not putting into play that person's own situation. Everybody's scenario or situation is different. No two applications are the exact same thing, you understand? So when you put all of that into consideration, a professional will look at your application based on your own personal situation, and not look at it based on, okay, it worked for this person, it should work for you. No, it doesn't work that way. I don't know if you understand me. So make sure that you have vetted your documents. A professional has vetted your documents, and everything is good to go. You upload every mandatory and supporting documents before the date and time of your interview, and you submit that application. Once you have clicked on the submit button on that website, you cannot correct, add, or do anything. And another thing, you cannot click on submit for self-upload and now carry, maybe you forgot to upload your bank statement. You will now take it with you on the day of your interview and say, let me give it to them. No, it doesn't work that way. That's why it's very important that you have a professional look at all of these things and help you make an informed decision, and help you, put in a good application that will result in a visa approval. Now, when that is done, a standard application will typically take 15 working days. Weekends are not counted. 15 working days. But some people get their visas in 2 days. Some people get their visas in 3 days. Some people get it in 5 days. If there is not so much of traffic with the UKVI, you get your visa out, almost immediately. I've had situations where somebody has gotten it in 2 days and all of that, which is wonderful and relieving.
Yes.
But the standard processing time is 15 working days. Now, if you feel I don't want to wait that long and all of that, there are also services that UKVI offers, which is things like priority service and super priority service. But these services are not cheap. They are very expensive. And there's a misconception about priority and super priority services. Priority service costs £500, which if you do an exchange rate is almost 1.1 million, if not more. And usually your application should come out in 5 days. But if there is something wrong with that application, or if they need additional documents from you, it will not take 5 working days. And your visa will be delayed and your money has gone. So I only advise my students to pay that fee or pay that amount when they are pressed for time, if they don't have any other option. But if you still have a long course start date, maybe your course is starting 2nd of February 2025, and all your documents are ready now, and you want to make a visa application now, I see no reason why you should pay for a priority service, except you just want to pay it, and maybe you have the money and it's okay for you, then that's fine, you understand. But ideally, if there's something wrong with your application, or your application needs some more documents, or they require more documents from you, your money is gone and your 5 working days is not tenable anymore. You understand? Same thing goes for super priority. Super priority service is £1,000, which is roughly 2.2 million. So when making such decisions, please have this in mind. This is a tip from experience. Now, when you have submitted your application, if you paid for the priority or the super priority, then of course you know priority takes 5 days and super priority will usually take 24 hours if there is nothing wrong with your application. And the standard service takes 15 working days. So at the end of this, if everything is good, of course you get a visa approval. And that is what we at NEXI hope for all of our students.
Yes.
The whole idea of us being in business is that you get your visa. You get your admission to a school of your choice that is affordable and you can cope with, and we also help you get your visa approved. We don't derive joy when our students get denied. We don't even have denials of the sort. We do not do that. So it's very important that you contact professionals that would assist with your visa application so as to get your visa approved. Some of these tips that I have shared is from looking at other people's application, dealing with a lot of applications, and I'm able to tell what might be a problem and what might not be a problem. But you handling the application by yourself is basically you using your own personal knowledge and the knowledge of 2, 3, 4, 5 people that you have seen or heard about. That's not a wide spectrum. So we always advise for you to use professionals for your study application and your visa application. Elizabeth, anything you want to add to that?
Oh my God, that was so insightful. I'm so sure you all have learned one or two from that. And I know some of you will have questions. Please, you can start dropping your question now while we talk about our events.
Okay.
There is currently an event going on in NEXI, and the event started yesterday. That was 19th of November, and it's going to end on the 29th of November. So that means if you are just hearing about it today, thank God, that means you can still register and join us. So what's it about? It is not like an event whereby a lot of people will be gathered maybe in one hall and somebody will be a speaker. No. It is basically a one-on-one consultation, like one-on-one conversation. Like maybe I'm a student, Anita is a visa officer or student recruitment advisor. She will be talking to me about whatever I want and guide me properly on how to go about it till my visa is issued. So that is what the event is basically focused on. We are doing this event because we want to register, we want to help you, we want to assist you in getting your visa. So it's basically for people that have offer. If you have an offer, whether conditional offer, unconditional offer, you have CAS. Even if you have CAS, you have made your deposits, you can still come to us. And if you have not reached those stages, it is still fine. You can come to us as well. So we are here to help you. So that is what the event is basically focused on. And Anita might have other things to say about the events.
Thank you, Elizabeth. So just to throw more light on this event, it is a 30-minute session with all of our professionals here at NEXI. So the event started yesterday, 19th of November, and it will be ending on the 29th of November. So this event is basically to give you 30 minutes of our time for free. 30 minutes of our time for free.
Free. Without a dime, not 5
30 minutes where we would advise you, no matter the stage you are at your UK study or visa processing, we would come in and give you professional advice on what you're doing right or what you're doing wrong, and try to put you through and help you to get an approved visa basically at the end of your journey. So what this happens is you need to register with us, and you'll be allocated a time slot based on your preference and what is available. And then depending on whatever stage you are at, if you have not yet gotten your CAS, then of course you'll be speaking with a student recruitment advisor like Elizabeth here, and she would put you through on all the steps that you need to take to obtain your CAS successfully without delays. And also, if you already have your CAS, congratulations to
That's
you.
good.
You would also be, linked up with a professional visa advisor like myself, and we would put you through on the necessary documents and mistakes and errors to avoid, so that you can get your visa approved and also avoid visa delays, because visa delays is becoming a little bit more rampant these days. I've seen applications take 1 month. I've seen applications take 2 months. I've even seen an application that took 3 months. I kid you not.
Hey.
3 months. And this thing was, and it is fully packed with information to help you obtain your visa or obtain your CAS, depending on the stage where you are at. So hurry up and register. My colleagues will be posting a link. Yes.
Please drop questions. I don't think we have any questions here. So I'm trying to check. There are no questions.
Okay.
I can see another. Please speak up. The volume is low. We are sorry.
We are so sorry.
Okay. Hello. Okay. Anita. Okay. Alright. There is no questions. We don't have any question here. But please ask questions before 1 p.m. Because Instagram, once it is 1 p.m., we are going to be logged out of this place. So please ask your question. We have just 11 minutes to spend here.
Ask questions. Don't
Okay,
go and do
maybe
it
they want
yourself.
to. Maybe they want to register for the one-on-one section, and
Okay.
they'll be like, "Oh, since
Well,
I'm going
maybe
to have a one-on-one section,"
that's
but that still
okay.
does not mean you can still ask questions.
That's okay. But please register for the one-on-one session. It's going to be very beneficial to everyone that registers, because you are not going to be paying to get information. I mean, a visa approval is what every Nigerian and every West African person wants. Like, anyone applying for a visa wants to get their visa approved. And if you don't get your visa approved, no amount of money can make you feel good about a rejection. So it's not something that money can buy. A visa approval is not what money can buy.
Right.
It's just, God helping you and all of that. So please book a 30-minute one-on-one section with us and have all of the information you need to get a visa approval. So I'd say, since there are no questions, let's log off, and we'll be expecting you in our DMs.
Maybe we should just wait
Okay.
like 2 minutes, and after 2 minutes, in the absence of questions, then we are going to call it a day till we meet during the one-on-one consultation. Please ensure you register. Don't miss out on this.
And slots are filling up. We already have our counselors and our visa advisors speaking to people already. It started yesterday. So slots are filling out like very, very fast and all of that. So please try as much as possible to register early enough so that you would get a slot. But even if you're not able to get a slot and all the slots fill out, please still reach out to